its inception in 2019, the economically weaker section reservation or the EWS quota has always been in news, be it for its 8 lakh income cap or it not following the basic structure of the constitution. Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be talking about the validity of 10% EWS quota that is presently in news, and the hearing is going on in the Supreme Court whether it follows the basic structure of the constitution or not. So let us first understand the timeline of the video. First we will be looking at what is the news, then what are the issues before the court on which it will be understanding its validity, then about the 103rd constitutional amendment and what are the eligibility criteria for coming inside the EWS quota, what are the basis of the challenge to the amendment, and what is government's stand in this matter so far. Then we will be looking into recent constitutional amendments that has taken place, and in the end we will be looking into a prelims MCQ and a mains practice question. This topic is of relevance from General Studies Paper 2, Indian Polity. See, from prelims you should be able to know that what is 103rd amendment and what is the eligibility criteria for the EWS. And from mains perspective you should be able to know recent constitutional amendments that has taken place and what are the basis of the challenge of the amendment. So let's get started and see the news. This news has been taken from Indian Express and it says, Supreme Court's 3-question test for validity of 10% EWS quota. So EWS, that is economically weaker section quota, came into relevance from the 103rd, that is 103rd constitutional amendment that took place in 2019. So the 10%, and 10% means up to 10%. This is not explicitly that only 10% would be given. It is up to 10%. So let's see that what is the points that so much EWS quota is in news. So recently what is happening is the Supreme Court is examining the validity of the EWS quota, which came into prominence from the 103rd Amendment Act, which took place in 2019, and it introduced a 10% quota. 10% quota for the economically weaker section in government jobs and admissions to the higher schools or colleges. Then, okay, important point is, this is a very important prelims point both, that EWS quota introduced by which amendment act, that is 103rd, and what does it include? It includes a 10% quota for economically weaker section in government jobs and education. Then what are the points that is coming in news is that the EWS quota violates the basic structure of the constitution. This is the point why the validity of the EWS quota is being questioned and the Supreme Court is hearing, so that it violates the basic structure of the constitution. And a 5-judge constitution bench which is led by the Chief Justice of India, that is the Chief Justice of India UU Lalit. So a 5-judge bench is hearing the petition and decided to examine 3 key issues. So out of all the issues, there are 3 key issues which the Supreme Court is hearing, and the 3 key issues are, okay, issues before the court. So there are primary 3 issues which are coming in prominence, and this will examine whether the EWS amendment breaches the basic structure of the constitution. Okay, basic structure of the constitution was given by which amendment? It was the Keshwanand case, Keshwanand Bharti case of 1973, from which the basic structure of Indian constitution came into being. Then the 3 primary issues are, first, that allowing the state to make reservations based solely on economic criteria. That is the only basis for reservation can be the economic criteria or not. This is the first challenge. that can solely economic criteria be allowed or not. Then the second challenge is allowing for reservations in private institutions unaided by the government. The important word is unaided. The institutions which are not receiving any kind of aid from the government, central government or the state government, but still these private institutions have to follow the EWS quota of 10%. So whether this is justifiable or not. Then the third challenge is excluding the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes and the socially and economically backward classes from the scope of the 10% economic reservation quota, because people belonging to the general category can only be given the EWS quota. So is it justifiable that not giving this quota to the SC, ST and the OBC people? So these three are the primary issue which the Supreme Court is hearing. First is that solely the income criteria or the economic criteria can be taken or not, and then private institution unaided by the government has to follow the EWS quota. And third is ST, SC, OBC people are not included into the scope of the 10% economic reservation. Now let's talk about the 103rd Amendment, that what is the 103rd Amendment to the Indian Constitution. 103rd Amendment provides up to 10% reservation to the economically weaker section. People who are not able to earn that much or are economically weak, then these come under the EWS. And the 103rd Amendment inserted Article 15 clause 6 and 16 clause 6 in the Constitution. So it amended Article 15 and Article 16, that is Article 15 and Article 16. So it becomes important to know that what is Article 15 and Article 16. See, Article 15 of the Constitution talks about prohibiting discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. Specifically these 5 things. So if in the statement 6 things are given, then it becomes wrong. Prohibited discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. This is Article 15. It was amended and a clause, Article 15 clause 6 was inserted into it. Then became the Article 16. So Article 16 talks about equal opportunity should be given to everyone in matters of public employment. Equal opportunity. So this was also amended and Article 16 clause 6 was inserted. So, and this empowered the state governments to provide reservation. So state governments has the prerogative to decide the reservation given under the EWS quota. And the important prelims point is, except the minority educational institutions, all other educational institutions will give the EWS quota, be it centrally funded institution, state funded institution or any other institution. Except the minority educational institutions, all other educational institutions will be giving the EWS quota. Very, very important point from your exam perspective. You need to get this one, that there is one exception to it, and the exception is minority educational institutions. Then EWS reservation is based on the recommendations or of which commission. If the question comes that EWS reservation was recommended by which commission, then the answer would be S.R. Sinho Commission. And who was S.R. Sinho? He was retired Major General. So EWS reservation was based on S.R. Sinho Commission. So important points become, which commission? S.R. Sinho Commission. What is that one exception? That is the minority educational institutions. And which 2 articles was inserted? That is Article 15 clause 6 and Article 16 clause 6. Okay, look at this certificate. This is income and asset certificate. So this is the certificate which a person who belongs to the EWS category gets, and he gets this certificate from going to the, which we call tehsil, into their which tehsil is present in their city. Then this kind of certificate they get, where they have to write, they get the certificate number, date, valid for the year is also written, name and everything. So this is the income and the asset certificate which a EWS person gets. Okay, now let's talk about the eligibility criteria, that when a person can come inside the economically weaker section quota. So the family income should be less than 8 lakh rupees, or the agricultural land should be less than 5 acres, and not beneficiaries of any existing reservation, that a person from the general category can get the EWS reservation or the EWS quota. Any other person who is already getting any kind of reservation will not come under the EWS quota. Then owning a house above 1000 square feet. So a house should be less than 1000 square feet and a plot should be less than 100 yards. Then the residential plot should be less than 200 yards in a non-notified municipality area. So these are the eligibility criteria. If anyone would be not coming under this eligibility criteria, then the person might not be able to get the EWS certificate. Family income should be less than 8 lakh rupees. Agricultural land should be less than 5 acres. The person should not belong to any reserved category. He or she should be from general category. Then house should be less than 1000 square feet and a plot of 100 yards. Less than 100 yards should be there. Then residential plot less than 200 yards in a non-notified municipality area. Now let us talk about what are the bases of the challenge to the amendment. So what are the bases that they are making challenge, that the people are saying or the petitions are saying that the EWS quota disturbs the basic structure or do not follow the basic structure of the constitution. This is the major point which is being put up. So it says that the amendment violates the basic structure of the constitution, and already the basic structure of the constitution does not have a very clear definition, but violation to the basic structure of the constitution, if anything violates the basic structure of the constitution, then it becomes unconstitutional. Important point, that if anything is not at conformity with the basic structure of the constitution, anything which is not following the basic structure of the constitution, or anything which is not going along the basic structure of the constitution, anything which disturbs the basic structure of the constitution, becomes unconstitutional. Violation is understood to be unconstitutional. Then it promises a special protection, that the sole basis of income status, that whether the economic status of a person can, that only the or solely the economic status of a person can be regarded or can be taken into consideration, that a person belongs to EWS category or not. Should there be other criteria also, or only the economic status can be taken? Then it violates the Supreme Court's 1992 ruling in Indra Shaumi and others versus the Union of India case. This is also one of the challenge, because in the Indra Shaumi and others versus Union of India case, it says that the reservation should be capped at 50%, while if we include the EWS reservation, then it exceeds the 50% limit. So whether this will be right or this will be wrong, if the EWS quota will be given, then this will cross the 50% mark, and so this will disturb the Indra Shaumi and others versus Union of India case. So the important basis of challenge becomes, first challenge is the violation of the basic structure. Second challenge becomes that whether the economic status can be the sole criteria for deciding a person's EWS quota. And third is the Indra Shaumi case, that is, if the EWS quota will be given, then it will disturb the 50% reservation mark. Then one more challenge is the private unaided educational institutions. When the institution is not getting any aid or fund from the central government or the state government, then why that private institutions should also be made to follow the EWS quota? Because the fundamental right to practice a trade profession is violated of this private institution. and then the state compels them to implement its reservation policy and admit students on any criteria other than merit. So when the private institution is not taking any help from the government, then why the private institution should be following the rules which the government is putting? Then now let us talk about that what the government stand is, what the government is saying in this matter so far. So the government is saying that Article 46, which belongs to DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy. So Directive Principles of State Policy comes under which part of the Constitution? That is Part 4. DPSP comes under Part 4 of the Constitution, and the Article 46 says that state has a duty to protect the interest of economically weaker section. This is what the government is saying. The DPSPs are made to help the government to form laws, and Article 46 says that state has a duty to protect the interest of economically weaker sections. This is what the government is saying. And in the Indira Shaumi principle, the government has relied on the Supreme Court's 2008 ruling in Ashok Kumar Thakur versus Union of India case, in which the court has upheld the 27% quota for OBCs. So this is, the government is following what? The government is following the 2008 ruling in Ashok Kumar Thakur versus Union of India case. That is the Indira Shaumi principle, and it says that the court has upheld 27% quota for OBC, and it need not, I am again repeating, and it need not, not is the important word, it need not be a sole criteria for according reservation. This is what the government is standing, or this is what the government stand is, that I am again saying that Indira Shaumi principle, the government has relied on the 2008 ruling which took place in Ashok Kumar Thakur versus Union of India case, and it says that it need not be a sole criteria for according reservation, that economic criteria or social criteria can not only be the criteria which is for according reservation. So this is what the government stand is. Now let us talk about the recent important constitutional amendment, very important from both prelims and mains perspective. The questions has been asked in previous years that which amendment act relates to what. So let's see that the 100th Constitutional Amendment Act, which took place in 2015, it is related to the land boundary agreement between India and Bangladesh. Then comes the 101st Amendment Act. It introduced the Goods and Services Tax, that is the GST. Then 102nd Amendment Act talks about the National Commission for Backward Classes. 103rd that we have just discussed talks about the 10% reservation for the economically weaker sections. And 104th Amendment is, it extends the reservation of seats for SCs and STs in the Lok Sabha and state assemblies. See, I am again telling you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 amendments are very important because it can be asked that the 104th Amendment is related to what, or match the following can also be given, that match the following pairs, that 102nd Amendment is related to what, 101st Amendment is related to what. So you need to know the recent amendments that has taken place in the Indian Constitution. Now let's come to today's prelims question, that is, consider the following statements regarding 103rd Constitutional Amendment. First statement is, it provides a 10% reservation in education and government jobs. Second, it is for a section of general category candidates. Third, it introduced the Article 14 and Article 19. And you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. And the codes are 2 only, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, and 1, 2 and 3. Let's come to the last section, which is the mains practice question. I've given you an easy one. It says, discuss 103rd Amendment Act and its salient features. So the command here is discuss. So what you people have to write in this, first write about what is 103rd Amendment Act, then write about what all it has brought into, and then all the salient features it talks about. It is a 10 marker question. So do your answer writing practice, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.